Hi, I'm Shantae, certified yoga instructor, and we're here at the beautiful Dava Studios right here in Tampa, Florida. And today we're going to talk about yoga blocks, lots of different yoga blocks. How do you use them? What are they good for? What are they good for? There's this misconception that yoga blocks are a sign of weakness, and that cannot be further from the truth. Yoga blocks, the use of yoga blocks, are actually indicative of you knowing your body because you know your limitations or you know how your body is speaking with you, you're in tune with your body. And if you do need them, it's actually going to help you with any increased or further injury and help you with making sure that some of the poses that you're having or struggling with, that you actually do them properly so that way later on you may not even need them. Okay, we're talking about the little differences of the yoga blocks, and then I'm going to show you some basic ways in a traditional class, yoga class that you're taking, that you would actually use yoga blocks. Okay, so the most popular one that you'll probably see in a class or just kind of around are the kind of styrofoamy ones. The good thing about them is they're pliable, they're softer. They do tend to be a little on the thinner side, easy to clean. You just kind of wipe them clean. They're portable, very, very lightweight. I mean, this is like almost a feather. So super, super light. And they're stackable. So if you just need one, you just need one. If you need two, you can kind of work with it. So interchangeable in that way. Okay. The other ones that I like to use is the cork one. I love the cork one. It's made of natural material, very, very sturdy. It's heavy. Nice thing about this is that it's the height of it. So where the height, you can see the difference there. It's great if you always need a certain height, okay? Where it lacks is that if you do want something a little lower, you just need a little bit of help, that's all you get. You can't really maneuver that around. You stack two of these on there and you're darn near at the ceiling. So as you can see, if I stack two of these here compared to one of these, then there I go. Now, if I stack another one of these on here, now it's really, really high. So it just kind of all depends on what your needs are and how much leverage or elevation of the floor or the mat that you need. The other thing about these is because they're heavy and sturdy, these do have a risk, and I've seen them before, depending on how you're using them and how you're distributing your weight, that these will move unexpectedly, okay? These aren't going anywhere. So let me go ahead and kind of show you how each of these work or how you use them. I've got my yoga blocks here, the two types. Now, mind you, those are not the only type of yoga blocks that exist. Those are just the type that you'll see most people working with. I'm going to show you how each one works. So we're going to start with the small ones here. And when you're using yoga blocks, what you definitely want to do is there's several ways that you can use it. Again, yoga blocks are really good if you have any wrist sensitivity. So for instance, if being like this on the floor is painful for your wrists, having the yoga blocks and just moving your hand just past the block. I'll come a little closer so you can see. So what's nice is that with the yoga blocks, you'll find that if you have an issue with your wrist, if being on the floor like this with all of your weight on your wrist does not feel comfortable, you simply move your fingers just past. And as you can see, when you're in that 90 degree, so from here, 90 degree, if you just move your wrists past that, it kind of alleviates a little bit. So it makes it more like a 45-degree angle, okay? Especially helpful for downward dog. I actually prefer the blocks for downward dog for myself just because it's a lot on the wrist, okay? And sometimes on that chaturanga dandasana, okay? So that's how you want to do. You can either have them, but you definitely want them spread. You don't want this here because you'll slip. You want your hands spread just like you are on the floor, okay? Or if you prefer the grip, just off, okay? So you can really get some leverage there. Same thing with the cork one. So no matter what type you use, those are the two grips that you really want to focus on. Okay, so let me kind of show you how this works. We're going to turn the mat to the side here so you can get a better view. Yep, that works. Okay, so starting with the cork mats, we're going to do a basic chaturanga, okay? So we'll do this the right way, starting from mountain pose. You want to stand close enough and kind of measure where you'd be able to touch them. So several ways that you can use the blocks to raise the mat is in anything that requires you to touch the mat from a standing position. So forward folds, extending again the mat. And you can even do them, you can use them flat like this, or can use them like this. Now I will say for these ones, I necessarily do not recommend you using them standing, and only because the surface is not really wide enough to withstand your weight without wobbling. So you can either flip them this way, which is less wobbling if you're going to stand them up, less wobbling, or get yourself some nice sturdy ones. Those won't move. But like this can be a little bit dangerous if you're placing all of your weight, okay? It's better to have them this way if you're going to need them a little higher. If not, you would just place them down and use them like that, okay? All right. So let me show you a quick chaturanga with these and how that works. Just raising the floor. And again, you can stack these as needed. So place them where you need them. Deep inhale. Exhale down. I'm going to grip the sides or grip the edges, okay? Jump back into my chaturanga. And downward dog, okay? So that's how that works. Now, from the downward dog, normally you can use that as leverage to raise the roof and bring your foot forward to come up to, warrior 2, warrior 1, whatever the next move is, okay? Okay. So that's these. Well, these, you use them like this, little bit of less opportunity for wiggling. Use them like this, or you can use them like this, okay? Either way, they're safe. And with each or any of the blocks, you can use them any direction that you need to, okay? So again, I'll show you a chaturanga with the cork blocks. They're a little higher. I think I'll show them this direction. So I'm going to put them horizontal. Now I will say, if you put them horizontally and you're going to, from downward dog, step into a low lunge, that might impede where your feet go. It's very narrow. So you want to be sure you're going to have to be very strategic in getting your foot as close to that middle as possible, okay? Mountain pose. Deep inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Gripping. Okay, normally halfway up. Chaturanga. I'm going to step back this time. Now also, the thing about this, to upward dog and then downward facing dog. Now the thing about this is also when you have them horizontal, these big ones, it does impede you from going all the way down. So if you're needing a marker to stop your chaturanga, that might help, or it might kind of impede you, okay? This is one of the things I do like about the yoga block. I do like to use those blocks for certain inversions. It kind of just helps to lift the floor, okay? Again, yoga blocks are not a sign of weakness. Don't feel bad if you walk into a yoga room and you have to grab yoga blocks. Hopefully they have them available, or get a set of your own so you can practice using them at home. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them down in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and just tune in for more. Thank you for joining me.